Hello, everybody. Welcome to this second interview with our current students in the process of graduating, but also alumni. Today, I have with me Erin Berglund, and Erin is going to graduate, believe it or not, in 5 weeks from now. We are in spring 2021, March, as a matter of fact, at the moment. And she's going to get a bachelor degree in chemistry from Michigan Tech. Welcome, Erin. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. So I'm going to put the spotlight on you. There you go. And I'm going to start by asking you if you could tell us something about you and what, where you come from and why you decided to study chemistry at Michigan Tech.
So, I'm from Hudson, Wisconsin, and my dad and my uncle went to Tech. So I grew up we went on vacations all up here all the time, so I loved the area.
Right.
But actually didn't really want to go here because it was a 6-hour drive. I don't know if I really want to do that.
Yeah.
Then I was looking, and then I was like, I think I really would like it there. And then for how I ended up with chemistry, and then a big part of why I picked it was the ski and mountain bike trails on campus.
Well, that's fair to say. That's fair.
Yeah. And then, how I ended up in chemistry is kind of a long story.
Okay.
So in 5th grade, I read this biography on Marie Curie, and I was and I really liked it. And then my 5th grade teacher did all kinds of science experiments, and he made everything hands-on, and it was I really liked all the experiments he was doing. And then in 8th grade, my science class, it was super easy, and then the teacher ended up putting me next to all the kids who were struggling with that class so I could help them.
Nice.
And when we got to the chemistry part, it was just basic stuff how to read the periodic table. And then I actually I was surprised at how much I had retained from the biography that I had read 3 years before. And I remembered a lot of it. So, and then my freshman year of high school, in our science class, the AP chemistry students did all these demonstrations for us, and I that was really cool. I want to take that class.
And then what happened?
And then I took that my senior year of high school.
Okay.
And I loved, and it was really fun. And let's see what else. What was I gonna say?
I suppose then, by now you are in high school and you are in the school year.
Yeah, and the teacher, she curved all of our exams, and there was 1 or 2 times that I was above the curve because I did so much better than everyone else.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
So from there, then, I mean, at that point you knew that you wanted to be a chemist.
Then I knew I wasn't completely sure what I wanted to do.
Okay.
But I was like, well, I got to pick something or I'm never going to decide. I like chemistry. How about that?
That's fine. And we have been lucky enough to have you here. I remember you from your first year. So it's very nice to, you know, in a sense, to had the chance to know you basically the first day in college, and now where we are almost at your last day in college. So it's through physical chemistry 1, physical chemistry 2, the labs. So because
it's hard to believe how quickly it went by.
Yeah, when we are there, it looks like it's not moving. We are not moving, right? And then suddenly we are at the next step in our lives. It's amazing. Yeah, I think that also shows that overall, I hope you had a good time. I mean, on average,
yeah,
I'm sure there were, you know, ups and downs on the road, but that's just the way in life. And so you picked tech also because of the environment, meaning the outdoors, right?
Yeah.
Which probably this brings me to one of the next questions. Like, did you have actually time to spend some time outside and do something else apart studying and preparing for exams and all the fun things?
Not as much as I'd like to, but I still like found time to go cross-country skiing and mountain biking and hiking.
Sure. It's, I mean, all those activities are a bit addictive. So one has to stop and actually do the work one is supposed to do. I know the feeling.
Yeah. So and then like I was in the Nordic ski club and the cycling club too.
Oh, nice. So did you have the chance to be part of some excursions with other people, with the club itself?
My first year we went to Utah with the bike club.
Oh, wow.
For spring break.
Oh, that's super cool, actually.
Yeah, we had a lot of issues with the tech van.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, it's okay. I'm sure that, I mean, you came back and you just can always...
we got stuck in Boulder.
Oh, well, I mean, that could be a worse place.
This is the worst place to get stuck in.
That's right. So can you tell us something about, as we were mentioning, you probably had low times when maybe, you know, you had concerns or you were tired or you were struggling maybe managing to do something. Can you describe a few occasions in which these things happen and how you overcame them, how you managed to realize that you could go beyond the difficult times that you were having?
Well, when I was home for Thanksgiving last semester, my brother had a little incident with the welder and then ended up like the house the house caught on fire and then it was a total loss. And then 3 weeks ago, with 3 weeks left in the semester, I had no notes, no textbook, no laptop. And I'm like, how am I supposed to finish school? And like my professors were all like super helpful. They were like, just take your time, get everything done. Like you have until I submit final grades. And like one of them even mailed me textbooks. And then the other classes I didn't need them for. And like the youth pastor from my church used church money to get me a new laptop. And so it was hard to get everything done, but I managed to do it.
Well, that speaks highly about you because I remember we were working on another project together, not research, but other things. And in spite of that, you said, you know, I can do it, Loredana. I'm like, Erin, but you know,
I can grade the 2 easiest questions.
But you did it, right? And so that was that was a tough time. I'm sure I haven't been through any things of the sort, so I can only be sympathetic, empathic with you. But you really demonstrated a high spirit and strength mentally and also physically. I'm sure because you guys went through a lot. So
Yeah.
that was a big. That's something that we all should remind about. How lucky we are, and at times we don't know how strong we are until we have to show
Yeah.
how strong we are. And I think you did that. Well, thank you for sharing this personal experiences with me and with whoever is going to watch this. So how about we talk a bit about we go back a bit in time again and think about yourself being back and starting attack your experience here. If you could give an advice to, or one or two advices to future students, what would you say? Something that maybe you did and now you realize, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I should have done more of this, less of that, something like that.
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like all through high school, like all my classes were too easy. Besides AP Calc, that was the only one that challenged me. And then like I got here and like some of my classes were easy, some of them were hard. And like I was always scared to ask questions. And then, but like when I did, the professors were always like, they never thought you had stupid questions. They'd drop whatever they were doing to help you.
Well, that's nice. So don't be afraid or be intimidated.
Yeah.
By professors who at times look intimidating. I know I get that a bit from the
Yeah.
students, but then they realize that I'm not that bad, and and I know this is true for others too. Yeah, ask questions, and the fact is that if from our side, if we don't know that there is a problem or that you are encountering, even a tough moment in your life, we cannot help. And that's the deal, meaning, and we cannot just ask, are you okay? Is everything right? Because it doesn't sound right?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a professional relationship. So this is an excellent suggestion, actually. Just
Yeah.
put aside your pride also, no, at times, and just say, knock at doors and say, look, I'm this person, I'm in your class, or I want to do research, whatever. Can you help me? I don't understand. What should I do? Another thing that I am going to chip in also is the Jeremy Brown at the Learning Center. Jeremy is also the advisor for students. And as far as I know, he has been doing an excellent job in helping students, not only really in the technicalities of figuring out what was the best way of putting the course schedule together, but also going beyond that. And he's always happy to reach out to the faculty to ask and help students to be put on the right path for what they are and what they are trying to do, attack, and achieve. Well, excellent. That was a very good one, actually. Well, okay, I have one last question for you. And since we went through your story in chemistry and in life too, which was very kind of you to share with us. Since you're so close to be done, yay! How do you see your future? What will be your next steps in life and your future career after you are going to leave Michigan Tech?
Yeah, I'm still like looking for a job, but I plan to work in industry for now and see what I like, see what I don't like, figure out what I want to do.
That's good. So you are still figuring out things. You are fairly young, I think, by comparison with other students. So, there is still maybe a bit more uncertainty of what you can and cannot do, right? In a sense, which is a very human and pretty aspect to have, instead of being so sure of I can do anything I want, right? So you're looking around to find jobs and applications, etc.
Applied to some, haven't heard back from anyone.
Yeah, but I think the situation is also a bit tricky now with this COVID, and I feel like there's maybe a bit more of uncertainty almost now than maybe 6 months ago, because I feel like people were hoping after 1 year to be done, and instead we are still here hanging and waiting to know what the future will bring. So, but I mean, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't receive replies and positive replies, and you will probably be in the situation to be able to choose actually what you want to do. Are you planning to stay in the Midwest area, or
I'm hoping to.
Yes. Okay. Well, there are lots of industries and opportunities for Canada.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to add before we close this conversation with you?
I also wanted to talk about how I was grading for you last semester.
Oh, you want to say that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me explain. So I was teaching Physical Chemistry 1, which is a junior course in the fall semester. Well, also in the spring, but I usually teach the fall edition and the summer edition. And especially in the fall, I need at least a couple of graders for the big homeworks that I assign, because the class is like 70, 90, at least at times 100 students. And so I need help in order to get the job done. And so Erin, together with another student, was happy enough, I hope, to actually do the job. So yeah, what's your story, Erin?
Well, it's like PChem 1 for me was like, it was a hard class. Like I struggled with it. It was hard. Didn't have like the best grade in it. And then like PChem 2 was a lot better. Like I thought it was easier.
Which is more difficult, PChem 2, because it's quantum chemistry. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it was easier for me. Yeah. But then it says, like, you emailed me and like, you want to grade? And I'm like, why does she want me to grade?
I'm gonna ask the question now. Wait. Before you continue, I want to ask the question now. I ask you because you say you didn't do as well as you were hoping.
Yeah.
You did extremely well, meaning I have to say this. Okay, so you don't have to be too harsh on yourself. Yeah. You don't. And second, I know how you work. I've seen it in class, I've seen it in the lab, and I know how much you care about doing a good job. And that's why at times, it's not the technical knowledge.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's actually the willingness to help, to be part of something, and to do something with others. And that's why I picked you and other students as well in the years. It's not the grade per se, meaning.
Yeah, and then
that's just a nice addition. But so now I'll let you finish your narration.
Yeah, and then I thought, well, it could be good for me. I'll try it. And I think it actually like kind of helped me like review some of the stuff, even though I might never learn it, never use it. I may never use it again, but it like, I think it was a good opportunity just to like be able to like work through the stuff again. Just
good. Well,
and like learn from what other people were doing.
I'm glad to hear
and
that.
And like, yeah, and like sometimes they do stuff like a different way, and then I'd be like, I could follow it and like see that it made sense.
Yes. So you see, but that speaks about the fact that you did well in PChem 1. Otherwise you wouldn't have been able to figure out also alternative ways of solving and realize that the procedure was still correct. So don't be too harsh on yourself. That's one of the biggest mistakes we can do, and I make the same mistake all the time. But I can say, no, you shouldn't do that. Yeah, there was another thing that oh yeah, you said that you would probably never use the pick and one material. So we should say in physical chemistry 1 we study thermodynamics, equilibrium, and kinetics. If you are going to industry sooner or later, I believe you will need to talk in terms of
probably at least some of it.
Gibbs free energy, exothermic reaction. So I think you will use it. If anything, you will probably use less the quantum part, which was, although it's good for you to have, because then it gives you an appreciation of the electronic behavior of the materials at the level, molecules, whatever. All right. Well, that was that pick and one comment was a surprise. I was not expecting you to mention that. Well, thank you. All right. I think we can close here. And I would like to thank you again, Erin, for your enthusiasm. I sent out the email and about, would you be able to do this? Yeah, immediately after just a few minutes, I received your, I would be happy to do that. So I really appreciate your time. And I know you're working, you are in between jobs on campus and exam preparation, etc. So thank you for doing this. I wish you personally, but I know I'm speaking for all the department and tech, all the best for your future. Anything you need, ask again, okay? Don't stop asking, even if you're gone. Know that I'm here, other people are here, and we are happy to help for what we can. Okay. Thank you very much, Erin. I will hopefully I'll see you around. Probably not, but
hopefully sometime.
Someday, yeah. we can hug again. So
yeah.
All right. I wish you well, and thank you again, Erin. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.